I will turn this over to Euggle as I change the PowerPoint because she has some special slides for us today.
This thing is buzzing. I do it wrong. Is it wrong? Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you for being here. Is it on? Is it on? Okay. Well, I'm annoying enough without a bad microphone, so I appreciate you being here. I have some slides for you. Not that I like slides at a church presentation or message, but I thought today, since it's such a special holiday, that it might evoke some wonderful memories, just to help with the visualization of this wonderful, great country and the wonderful, great people here. I'll also talk about just some of the craziness in America, some of the history. This isn't the only time in history where people have rioted and had such discord, is it? And then at the end, I'll talk about what we can do, what God has set for us to do to make things better, each and every one of us. So, my name is Euggle, most of you know. I have a very squeaky voice, and it gets squeakier, seems like not better, so I do apologize for my raspy voice, and I'll do my best to make sense. I don't always make sense, do I, Jean?
Most of the time.
Okay, most of the time. John chapter 4, verse 19 says, "We love because he first loved us." Oh, we love America. We love our freedom. And the title is God Bless America. And I am so honored that David asked me to come, and we can all say together, Happy Birthday, America.
Yes, indeed.
Happy birthday.
America.
The first celebrations in 1776, once people realized that the Constitution had been signed and that the colonies were free, in celebration, they went out and tore down the statue of King George III. We see statues falling, don't we? Statues falling. And we think, what is going on? Why are they doing that? Well, I can't imagine that we have a statue of King George III anywhere in America. I haven't seen one. Have you? I don't think I have. But this was in a section of Manhattan. And then they took the statue and made bullets out of it. So at least they recycled it, right? That was a good thing. But other conflicts besides the pandemic and the rioting that we see today that I don't understand, but I know people have to have free speech, and that's the way they show how they feel. There was the Berlin Wall that came down, the Berlin Wall, the walls of Jericho came tumbling down. 618,000 lives were lost during the Civil War. That's a lot of people, don't you think? And 50 million lives were lost, 56 million in World War II. Think about that. That's half of, no, not half. It's a percent of Ohio, a large percent. There have been over 1 million lives lost to the pandemic. Recently, someone said to me, I'm just so glad my mom and dad aren't here. They're not alive to witness the behavior and the pandemic. Well, I think his mom and dad lived through the 1918 pandemic. The difference was they didn't have television 24/7 to keep telling us how bad it is. John 16, chapter 16, verse 33 says, in the world you will have persecution, but take courage. I have conquered the world. So we must keep our faith, our focus on God. And thank our servicemen and women for the jobs that they do. I saw a young soldier penned the first time, and he was 17. And he was so happy to wear that uniform and just so excited to be of service to the country. And I gave thanks to God for him, and I continually pray for this young serviceman to be protected, that God will take care of him as he blesses America. But this service was so proud. Serviceman was so proud, and he was so brand new. So I pray that he still, after 6 years, has that pride, and he's hanging in there. I'm not a veteran, but us wives, the families of veterans, we paid a price too. Branchie was in Vietnam when our first son was born. He was 3 days old before Branch knew about it. The chaplain got the word on the ship after Cornell was 3 days old. Now, today, you're in the room with them, even if it's a Zoom. I'm sure they're doing Zoom in the delivery rooms so that the people in other countries can see babies being born, maybe FaceTime. Branch was on the USS Ranger, which is where Top Gun was filmed. Have you heard of Top Gun? Yeah. And he was also on the ship that picked up Apollo 10, which was right before Apollo 11, which was the moon landing spaceship. So you're allowed to touch him if you see him, just because I think he's pretty special. And I'm proud of that. But we all paid a price, whether it was a brother, a nephew, an uncle, or a sister. We all pay a price when our veterans are serving. It has its price. But God bless America. Land that I love. My home, sweet home. That was part of the music today. God bless America. We see God bless America, but you think about it, God bless America. The scripture for today is 1 Timothy chapter 2, verses 1 through 6. I urge then, first of all, that petitions, prayers, intercessions, thanksgiving be made for all people, for kings, for those in authority, that we may live peaceful and quiet lives in all godliness and holiness. It is God who wants all people to be saved, to come to a knowledge of the truth. There is one God and one mediator between God and mankind, and that is Jesus Christ, who gave himself for ransom for the people. Lincoln said in his Gettysburg Address, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men, all people are created equal. We're all equal in God's eyes, for sure." We have people who fly their flags, they gather together and they wave their flags. But here in America, there is such craziness sometimes. Only in America can a pizza get to your house before the ambulance. And only in America are there handicap parking spaces in front of the skating rink. And people go into a pharmacy. The sick people have to go to the back to get their prescriptions, while the people who smoke just stop at the front desk. It's just crazy, isn't it, how things have become. We have cell phones that screen calls so that we don't answer them anyway because we don't want to talk to people. I was carrying my phone around yesterday and I thought, everybody I know is here. I wouldn't answer it if it did ring, probably, because all my family, they were there. And if you look at the picture of the White House and the flag, the Statue of Liberty, they all represent, they're symbolic of our blessed country. The paradox of our time is that we have taller buildings and shorter tempers. We've put a man on the moon, but have trouble crossing the street to talk to our neighbors. It's just crazy, isn't it? We've conquered the atom, but not prejudices. I believe that America is still, with all of its craziness and paradoxes, it's still the greatest country in the world. It is. Our flag represents our history. I think there's a slide that shows the Normandy beaches, the graves. It's just acres and acres and fields of people who died, who came from America, who came from Canada, France. There are American beaches of cemeteries. There are Canadian beaches. The one beach for Canada is called Vimy. There's another one for France. It just makes you cry. When you stand there and look at the cost of our freedom, it just overwhelms you. If you don't come to tears, I'd be so amazed. It's just a blessing that they were there. And someone has said, we keep asking God to bless America. He already has. Now it's our turn. What can we do? God blessed America, so what can I do? I'm so busy taking care of Branch and me. I'm thinking, what can I do? Well, through the chaos of rioting, the pandemic, we can do many things. You're doing something right now. You're praying, you're wearing your mask, you're trying to keep others safe. But the Apostle Paul said, pray unceasingly, live in peace, tell your God story, and we must pray unceasingly. We must be good citizens. We must pray for police, the servicemen and women, and God blesses us through them. If you have a family, a soldier in your family, and you have a Jesus fish or a sign that says, my son or grandson is in the service, then show the people on the road that you care. Don't drive around them speeding and cut them off. Think about that. You can show grace. One of the greatest compliments I ever had was a person told me one time, I don't know what happened, but she said, Euggle, I am so pleased that I got to see you in action because you show grace. You're an example of grace. Well, I have no idea what to do because I do crazy things. But what a great compliment. I might have that put on my tombstone. I showed grace at least one time. The servicemen and women are absolutely so important. If God is on the inside of us, he will show on the outside of us.
Amen.
Christ is burning on the inside of us. Then that fire will spread outside. Oh, I love coming here to church. You're just so wonderful to see. You're I can't see you smiling, but I know you are. You're such a blessing. I believe the American flag was founded on Colossians chapter 3, verse 15. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, to which indeed you were called in one body, one country, one world, and be thankful. They wrote that for us. In closing, thank you for allowing me to do this message. It was an honor to talk about our country and God blessing us. Just a few quick slides and run through it because I am finished. There's a picture of our grandson Hayden. Then Branch in the Navy. He's gained a few pounds, I think. Pastor Dave's dad. My brother was in Vietnam too, so I have a real passion for the flag. We have the flag from Afghanistan flying all over the place, and some of the other slides are just some pictures of the amber waves of green. Just a beautiful, beautiful America. Let's bow our heads. God, grant us peace. Thank you for always being in battle with us, with our servicemen and women. Let us show grace in such times as this. We've been through this before. You took us through it. The forces of nature are strong, but you are stronger. Whatever our circumstances, may we always remember to love and to completely love our neighbors as Jesus taught us. To you, God, be the glory. Amen.